Hello and welcome back. I'd forgotten about this little model. It's got a great uncoupling device built into it, but you do have to run it quite quickly and stop it quite sharply to get the device to work. So we'll just bring her back again. There we go, you just see it uncouple and away we go. A slight drag on that coupling on the wagon there, and there's the mechanism. It's wonderfully simple, isn't it?
We'll have a swift look at the box the model and the layout came in, and see here it claims to have an automatic uncoupling device included there. Great picture of the model, and then we see the details on the end of the box, and its catalogue number R.354 BR Class 08 Diesel 060 Shunter. So the box is in sort of fairly tidy condition, I suppose, and Hornby have taken the move of moving away from red boxes, which I think was a bit of a shame. So I think 1980 to 81 possibly. There's no paperwork with this model, sadly, so we'll just pop that down. We'll have a swift look at the chassis while we have the thing still apart, and we can see there it's in fairly tidy condition. Great looking motor, isn't it? You can see there's been a lot of plastic introduced. This is just a redesign of the earlier 08 Shunter. It's a very long running model. We've got this ingenious sort of counterbalance mechanism here. You can see when it runs to a stop, it lifts the coupling hook up, and it's been designed so that the other coupling on the wagon doesn't catch onto the hook. Although I think this is a slightly later coupling. It's slightly tapered and shorter. It doesn't work well with the earlier ones I've found. So I have on the layout just used it with a slightly later wagon. I believe when this model first came along in '76, it had the slightly earlier Mark III couplings on it. And I have added a little bit of extra weight on the counterbalance. It just seems to work better that way. Strangely, you get a much better result without the bodywork on. So interestingly, this is quite straight, this arm here, but if we look on this service sheet that was issued for the model, we can see that there is quite a bend in that arm. If you look at the two together, it seems to be completely different, so I'm not sure at what point that changed, but this does collide with the inside of the bodywork and makes you can hear it knock each time it works, and it's not that reliable. It does uncouple by itself unintentionally, which is not ideal. We'll put these instructions on, service sheet away. So again, fairly tidy condition, nice plated wheels, plastic drive gear though, a plastic worm as well, and regular style coupling, although albeit a slightly newer type on the front there. We'll pop that down, have a look at the bodywork. There it is. Now this is a painted version. I believe initially when this came along in '76 it was a self-coloured plastic and maybe had the black work sprayed up, but this one I believe, from what I've read, is an all-over paint finish. Great separately fitted metal ladders, and it's just clip fit into the chassis, so there's no screw. The earlier variant this was based on, R.354, always tended to split around here. It was quite a weak point in the chassis. Fairly tidy condition. We'll look inside there. I'll turn that around the other way. We might be able to read Hornby Railway's name on the inside, just in there. Can we see that? And we've got some other fine numbers over there, and that says R156, I think. Let's just have a look at that. I can't quite read the other numbers, I'm afraid, looking at the back of the phone at the same time. So we'll just pop that down. So this is a redesigned version of the old Diesel Shunter. It goes way back into the 50s here. So this is R152 electric, because there was a clockwork version of this as well. So we'll just have a very swift look at this. We won't get it out of the box. I believe these came along very early on, and this is a polystyrene one. I think initially they were in acetate, and they tended to warp quite a lot. Very pretty in black, I think. So This is a sort of a redesigned model for the 70s, much finer detail, paint finish eventually, although I believe it was self-coloured plastic when it first came along. We'll just pop these items to one side and just have a look at this list of models. So here we've got the Diesel Shunter came along, BR Black. That was 56 to 58. And there was the Clockwork one there for a very short period of time in black. And then the green electric version still carrying R.354 from 59 ran to about 68. There was a primary series version in maroon, which was Clockwork, I think. And that was, again, for quite a short period. And in the late 60s, we get the BR Blue version, from 69 through to 75. Again, carrying the same catalogue number. There's a Victoria Railways version in blue from 74 to 75. That was a different catalogue number, R.316. And then when the model was retooled, or the bodywork was changed to the one we see here today. Where's it gone? To this style of body. It was initially released in the self-coloured plastic, I think, and carrying a number of R.156. And there was a New South Wales Railway version in maroon, 77 to 78. And the version we're looking at here today, R.354 green, and it's a painted finish from 80 to 81. And it goes on to up into the late 90s, and I think there's 6 or 7 other variants over the years. So we'll just pop this to one side and have a look at the price list. This is the 76 price list. And we can have a look at the model down here. And that's R.156, its original number in the self-coloured plastic, and it has a price of £5.25. Just pop that over. We'll have a look how she appeared on the catalogue. Quite a nice sort of engineering drawing here. And it sort of represents a slightly finer looking model than they actually produced. I believe the Hornby 00 model of the early 60s was a far superior model, much closer to the prototype. And there we go. R.156 BR 060 class 12 diesel, it says there, shunting locomotive. So really lovely page in the catalogue, I think. There we go. I've got it all back together. As I say, it is just clip fit, which makes it very simple to dismantle when needed. Very shiny wheels, as we said earlier, and there's that great uncoupling device on the back there. I think it is probably a step forward in design, but possibly nowhere near as good looking as the Hornby 00 variant. Sadly, I don't have one of those yet, but you never know. But I think this earlier black variant from the 50s does look quite special. I think it's probably nicer looking than the slightly later green version that came along, and certainly the rail blue version of the 70s, but great looking things to have in the collection. Here she comes around the layout. We're going to take her onto the passing loop there through points 5, and we're going to have a hard stop here to get that uncoupler to work, and then we'll leave that group of wagons there. And then we'll switch some points and we'll get her around the group of wagons, and then we'll eventually get her onto the inside line where that electric uncoupling device is installed. Nice stop there, and then when we roll forwards, hopefully we'll catch those wagons. There we go, and then we'll roll back through number 5 there, and then we'll switch the points again. Very well behaved on all those points. We'll roll through and see if we can line her up with that electrically operated uncoupler I installed a few weeks ago. There we have it. So that should uncouple nicely, just taking off the guards van. And away we go. So we'll run round to the sidings and we'll pick off some wagons there in the sidings through points number 1. There we go, stop, and we'll switch the points there. Straight in, and we're going to pick off the first 3. And we've got the uncoupling ramps installed in the sidings here, the old Hornby ones.
And then we'll have to shunter forwards a bit so the hooks spring up. There we go. We have that. Out through points 1 again, and we'll switch those when we're ready. And off back around the layout, and we'll join this lot up with the other set of wagons. Now we'll stop briefly before we do so and put the electric uncoupling ramp down. Now it can cause a derailment, not really with the locomotives, but the wagons are a bit light. It does push down, so the solenoid motor's not that strong, it does sort of give way, but we don't want any unintentional accidents. And here we've got a slight flickering of the light as well. Seems to be a power supply problem coming up here, but nicely uncoupled anyway. And now we'll put the diesel shunter back in the sidings near the engine shed, and we'll get the Bobo electric out. Now the advantage of getting the electric out is I can power her with the overhead, and I can keep the power on the tracks and have the guardsman's tail light lit up nice and bright. So out through the points, gentle stop there, and we'll switch those, and off we go. We'll go and collect the wagons. I think we have those, and off we go. You should see a nice bright tail lamp as she goes off into the distance. And that's about it for this week. Thanks again for watching, it's hugely appreciated. If you watch next time, we'll have something else to have a look at. Goodbye now.